about your new album. It's called The Telling.
Mm-hmm.
And that, when I first saw the title, I was like, I wonder what that's about. You said that came from a C.S. Lewis quote. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was reading a book called The Great Divorce, which is kind of about, it's a fictional book, and these ghosts have these conversations with angels about heaven, right outside of heaven. And there's a passage somewhere 3/4 of the way of the book where the writer who is narrating is just a character watching a conversation, and between this ghost who was a painter, a famous painter on earth, and this angel. And he's looking into heaven. He says, "This is beautiful. When can I paint it?" And the angel is saying, "Hey, that comes later. Like, you'll paint like you've never had before." And the artist is getting frustrated and wants to know if there are famous people here. Where's the paint? I want to paint this beautiful heaven that it's more beautiful than anything I've ever seen. And the angel says to the artist, he says, "Every poet and musician and artist, but for grace, is drawn away from the love of the thing he tells to the love of the telling. Till down in deep hell there are those who cannot be interested in God at all, but only what they have to say about him." That's a big thing to kind of try to package, but essentially he's saying, without God's grace, you will be drawn to the love of the works that you do rather than the one who's given you the ability to do those works. Or to personalize it for me as a musician, as an artist, as a songwriter, I can become so consumed with the perfectionism or trying to make the music great or be creative or be artful that I'll lose sight of the fact that the whole reason I can even create, the whole reason I can write or sing is because it's a gift from God and it's made for him. And that can break down to the businessman, to the, we're all the same. We're all drawn to the love of what we're doing rather than the one that we are supposed to live for and glorify, and that being God. We know that. And so the song is basically a kind of a retelling of that conversation with a musician's spin that says, and it's a prayer for me, "Don't let me be drawn to the love of the telling, but lead me to love of the one I tell, Jesus. Because down in deep hell there are those who are singing a beautiful song, but it drowns in self." So what may be beautiful art? I could believe that people could be singing, hypothetically, a beautiful song to the ears, but void of God, void of truth, void of what really makes it meaningful. And so that's just kind of the whole thing. And that's the centerpiece for a record that says, "I want to live for you, I want to glorify you," and then says, "But that's hard because I've got issues." And so there's these songs of confession about sin, about relationship tension, about wanting people's approval more than identity in God. And then the third part of the record says, it's only by God's grace, when he lives through me, when he changes me, that I can really be part of what is glorifying to God, when he does that work in me. So reading that one book sent me on this whole journey of writing and kind of putting it all together, and really was a process of me kind of dealing with my issues.